Welcome back, Wolfpack. It's been a couple of weeks since we have done an online video lesson, but we're going to get right back into the swing of things. Today's lesson is on 4.4 and 4.5, perpendicular lines, and then equations of parallel and perpendicular lines. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to solve for the slopes of parallel and perpendicular lines. Now, as I mentioned in class, we are not going to do any of the constructions on the video. We will do those in class, but I am going to at least go over the vocabulary. The perpendicular bisector theorem says, if a point is on the perpendicular bisector of a segment, then it is equidistant, which means an equal distance, from the endpoints of the segment. Okay? So for example, line M, okay, this line is the perpendicular bisector of AB. It's perpendicular because we can see that it's forming 90 degrees, which is a right angle, so that means it's perpendicular. And it's bisecting AB because this segment is equal to that segment, okay? So point P is on the bisector. We know M is the bisector, P is on the bisector. It is an equal distance, point P is an equal distance to A as it is to B. So PA is equal to PB. That's what the theorem says. If a point, this point, is on the perpendicular bisector of a segment, so M is bisecting AB, it's cutting in half, the point is an equal distance from both of the endpoints. Let's put that into practice. Use the diagram below. BD is the perpendicular bisector of AC. So BD is perpendicularly bisecting AC. It means it's cutting AC in half. So AE is equal to CE. Suppose ED is equal to 16 centimeters and DA is equal to 20 centimeters. Find DC. So they want us to find DC. Well, it's going to be equal to DA because point D is sitting right here on the perpendicular bisector. Point D is on perpendicular bisector since BD is the perpendicular bisector. So since DA is 20, that means DC is also going to be 20 centimeters. Okay? Let's do another one. Suppose EC is 15 and BA is 25. Find BC. Well, BC is also on the, B is on the perpendicular bisector. So it's an equal distance to C as it is to A. So if if BA is 25 centimeters, that means BC is also 25 centimeters. Okay? We're going to go ahead and skip examples 2 and 3 because we're going to do those in class and move on to the back side, talking about slopes. Slopes of parallel lines. Let's see, there we go. Parallel lines are the same. Okay? They're exactly the same. Parallel is the same. The slopes of perpendicular lines are opposite reciprocals. Okay? So, for example, parallel, if this slope is 3, the other slope is 3. An opposite reciprocal, though, if the slope is 2 over 3, the opposite reciprocal would be 3 over 2, and then a new sign, negative. So it flips, and then it gets a new sign. To write an equation of a line, you need to know both a point that is on the line, and you need to know the slope. Okay? There are 2 types of equations that we're going to deal with today. The first one is point-slope form. And here's how we write point-slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay? And you will need to know this You will have to remember this, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Hope you can see like y minus y1, x minus x1. Okay, they're the same. X and y, x1 and y1 are a known point. It's a point that they're going to give you. You plug in the point that they give you. And m is the slope, just like we will see on slope-intercept form. Okay? In slope-intercept form, hopefully you're familiar with this one. Hopefully you're familiar with point-slope form too. But slope-intercept is really what we do a lot of. Y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope, so m is the slope in both of these, and b is the y-intercept. It's where the line intercepts the y-axis. Okay. Let's put this into practice. Write the equation of each line in slope-intercept form. So the line that is parallel to this one, and it passes through this point. So we're only going to do problem A, and then we're going to do problem B in class. So again, we're finding the slope, you're writing the equation of the line that's parallel to the given line, y equals negative 5x plus 1, and passes through this point. And we're writing it in slope-intercept form. So first of all, let's write slope-intercept down so we know exactly what we are doing. Y equals mx plus b. So in order to write the equation, I need to have the slope, and I need to know the b. Okay? So the slope is going to be parallel to this line. This line, the slope is negative 5. And parallel lines have the same slope. So I already know that I'm going to use that for my m. Well, I know that it passes through this point, negative 1 and 2, so there's my x, and there's my y, and I'll plug all those numbers in to solve for my b. So instead of the y, I have the number 2 equals, instead of the m, negative 5, instead of the x, I have negative 1 plus b. 2 equals 5 plus b. Subtract 5 from both sides, negative 3 equals b. So now I have my b, now I have my m, and I can rewrite my line properly. Y equals m, which is negative 5, x minus 3. And this is the equation of the line we are looking for. Okay? It's parallel because they have the same slopes, and it passes through this point. I use this point, it passes through that point, I use that point to find what my y-intercept would be. Okay? So 4b we will do in class. Let's move on to our last page. I'm doing this again, example 5. However, this time, we're going to be finding them when they are perpendicular. We're going to skip A and we're going to go down to B. We're going to write the equation of the line that's perpendicular to this line, and it passes through this point. Again, slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Okay? So this is going to be my x, this is going to be my y, and it's perpendicular to this line, so I need to use the opposite reciprocal slope. It was negative 2 over 5, so now it's going to be a positive, and flip it, 5 over 2. So y, negative 8, equals m, 5 halves, times x, negative 6, plus b. Negative 8 equals negative 30 over 2, plus b. Negative 30 over 2 is negative 15, okay? So I'm going to add 15 to both sides. So 7 equals b. So I'll rewrite my equation now. Y equals m, 5 halves, x plus 7, which is my b. Okay? So two-step process. You have to find the slope first, and then you have to plug in that slope and the given point to find the b. And once you find the b, you rewrite the equation y equals mx plus b. mx plus b. replacing the M and the B with the values. I know that was quick. We will do the other examples in class, but I wanted to make sure you at least have that vocabulary and you're familiar with what we will be seeing. This should not be new. This is the stuff that you did in Algebra 1. We're going to expand on it. Have a great day. See you guys next class.